All right, green 1. Green 2. Green 3. So be limited in your details, but if my brother shows up, do wish him well. He's at home recovering from a minor surgery. But be sparse on the details. Just say, hey, I hope you're doing well. And let me send it out to the league, because people don't know how to get their goddamn Twitch alerts. Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to League 1. It is Season 17, Week 6. We have a single game for you tonight as the Navy midshipmen are on a bye. They're all on a destroyer in the South Pacific running hurricane drills. So for tonight, we have the Pitt Panthers visiting the Carrier Dome, facing a hurricane drill of their own against the number 3 Syracuse Orange. Without any further ado, we're going to take a look at the Panthers squad with the head coach of the Syracuse Orange, Coach Spectre. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Thank you, Coach. Welcome, sports fans. The Pitt Panthers come in with a potentially high-octane offense. They scored 66 against UConn, but haven't scored more than 21 in other games. They're led by Rodney Lundy, who has 92 awareness. He's an 89 overall senior, a very good quarterback. Amir Moody and Lauren Humphrey, who's an impact player, both contribute in the backfield, over 70 yards apiece. Winston, an effective fullback, but not used a whole lot. Mackey, the leading receiver, with 70 yards. Rogers and Davis not involved as much. The star of the receiving corps, the tight end, Carlton Holmes, one of the most used tight ends in the nation. He's a junior, 79, but they like to throw to him. The offensive line, a B+ offensive line across the board. They've got a junior 83, a senior 86, a senior 90 on a hot streak at center, an 82 junior at right guard, and an injured 83 sophomore right tackle. He'll be replaced by a 78. The ends, both very fast and athletic. Rashard Thomas, the better of the two. He's an 87. Battle, an 82 on the other side. The D tackles, both strong and about 290 apiece. The linebacking core, very smart, high awareness for the two outside linebackers as well as the 87 middle linebacker. And the secondary, led by impact player Casey Nichols, he's got 4 interceptions. He's in the top, near the top of the leaderboard in the nation on interceptions this year. Going to have to watch out for 29. He'll be starred, thankfully. Gordon, another excellent corner. He's got 98 speed. Should be hard to beat them deep. An 84 senior free safety with 91 awareness. And an 88 junior strong safety with 91 awareness. So a very talented secondary. They don't have a good nickel back, although that might end up being a safety of some kind. But even if so, they'll be slightly lacking possibly on the slot receivers. We'll try to exploit that if we can. Otherwise, the rest of the secondary quite dangerous. The linebacking core is solid, and a good defensive line. A very good bowl quality team that's off to a 1-3 start. We're going to try to avoid the trap game, get out of here with a victory, and survive and advance. Without further ado, we're going to give it over to the voice of Syracuse football, Coach Ninja.
All right. Thank you for joining us as we prepare to get kicked off for the Pitt Panthers visiting the Carrier Dome. 99 overall Syracuse Orange ranked number 3 in the country against the unranked Pitt Panthers. This is a rivalry game. These are two traditional rival schools in the ACC. Both dates back to their time in the Big East. They're quality programs for a lot of different reasons, and not only in football. They both have great basketball squads. That's really the sport that both of these teams are known for, except in this dynasty, where the Syracuse Orange football team has been rejuvenated to its strength back in the 60s and 70s. Pitt, on the other hand, still struggling to turn basketball and academic quality into football performance.
They haven't been this in the 70s back when they turned towards that.
As we see, the number 10 points in the country for Syracuse, but number 1 in yards defense and rush defense. Pitt doing pretty well in a lot of numbers. 25th in yards offense, 26th in pass offense, and a solid 45, 51, 57 on the defensive yardage numbers. The problem is it looks like, given the fact that they've got 92nd against points, is they're very they're stingy with yards, but when you get some yards, you get a touchdown. They don't turn scoring drives from touchdowns to field goals, but they do stop drives. That seems to be the Pitt Panthers. Number of big visits here. A couple of athletes coming visiting the Carrier Dome. A very important recruiting game in this week for the Syracuse Orange. And if we'll look, the Butts, Tarkenton, Bailey leading the way for the Orange as starting players, and it's Ryan the center, Lundy the quarterback, and Cook the strong safety as the highest rated players for Pitt. Stevens definitely still out with that injury. And you're absolutely right, Silent Gaming. A 29-game home winning streak is a fantastic home streak leading the way for the Pitt Panthers. The Carrier Dome is a very tough place to play.
I started my coaching career, I had a dream. And every decision that I made, that I will be the head football coach at Syracuse University.
A heritage and tradition that is unparalleled in the Big East Conference.
Running the option. Pitching it back.
That's what championship teams are all about.
Undefeated, untied.
1959 national champions.
Syracuse has scored an undefeated season, and the team carries Ben Schwartzwalder off the field.
It's going to be the greatest victory that you kids have ever had.
Dozens of the most prolific and impactful players in the game. The first African American to win the Heisman Trophy. 208 NFL draft picks. 17 inductees into the College Football Hall of Fame.
Nab steps forward. He's going to try to run the football. Sidestep one tackle, another one. He's off the races.
You know as well as I do, we beat a class institution. We beat a great football team. You understand what I'm saying?
6 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 53 All-America selection.
The last play of the game. McNabb throwing the other way for the tight end for Mitchell. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. We need to make this place the hardest place to play in the country. We need you. We need everyone. This is our state, our town, our team, and we gotta win now. Go Orange!
Spanning more than 15 successful seasons and covering the country from Florida, North Carolina, Iowa, Ohio, Oklahoma, California, and Virginia. This is League One NCAA football.
Don't you let anyone steal history away from you.
since 1889. This is Syracuse football.
Hey-oh, indeed, Leon. It's good to have you and Silent Gaming, our two biggest fans. But I would say it's probably not optional, really, for either of them. As we see a early screen pass from Pitt, and Lundy just throws it away. Silent Gaming's in the league. He doesn't have an option to not be a fan. Leon is Leon. He didn't get that option either. But we're glad to have the both of you on this Friday night as the Pitt Panthers are here against the Syracuse Orange. We see a two halfback set. Lundy avoids the dive, and he looked like he was open on the out route. And Porter gets there and gets a hand in for the deflection right as the receiver was going to catch it, and tippy-toe on the sideline. That's heads-up play to readjust there by the corner. It is now 3rd and long on the first possession of the game. Lundy gets the ball away quickly to Amir Moody, but Moody is tackled just as quickly when a linebacker peels off. And that's going to force a punt on the first possession of the game. Pitt has had the ball for 30 seconds before the Syracuse defense take care of business. And there we go, with Kraus beginning the game with a punt return to 68 yards for a touchdown on the 3 and out. That's really as good as it gets for those two phases of the game, defense and special teams. You really can't ask for more. So that's a great start to the game, as now they're going to put the Pittsburgh offense right back on the field because of that return. What are we gonna do? Yeah, that's probably good. Hey! And Lundy's going to start it once again from his own 25-yard line. Moody's lined up to his left, and the tight end's lined up to his right. It is a handoff to Moody. He goes into the right flat, and the linebacker comes down and keeps it to a 2-yard gain. Brad Edwards, the free safety, closing in on the halfback there in the flat. Still shotgun normal halfback weak from the right hash now for Lundy. And Jordan with the pick. Lundy throws the pick six on 2nd and 8. It's going to be 14-0 after the extra point, and the Syracuse offense hasn't touched the field. Knight puts the third kickoff of the game through the uprights. It's 6:48 to go in the first. Syracuse offense has not touched the ball. Knight has had 3 kickoffs and 2 extra points. One tight end on the left, and Moody behind in the ace. Moody loses 3 yards on first down as Brad Edwards once again comes down to make the tackle. Second and 13 now from the left hash. 5 wide receivers, for Pitt. And Brooks comes through, but Lundy catapults the ball away as he's hit. It's going to be 3rd and long. And Edwards with the pick this time. He gets dragged down at about midfield, but Lundy forced to throw it into 2.5 coverage. Edwards makes a great pick, and honestly, it was actually overthrown, and Edwards was in a better position, so he had an easier play to catch the ball than the receiver did. But that's the second pick of the game, and we're finally going to see Syracuse with their first offensive play. It's 1st and 10 from the 50. Excellent field goal position. They're already up by 2 scores. Tarkenton with a big run out of the split. He gets 30 yards and is shoestringed from behind. That's one play from the midfield to the red zone. 1st and 10.
Ball on the 20-yard line.
Tarkenton now is in the game. He's under center in the eye from the left hash. He's scrambling out. He doesn't have great options, and that's going to count as an incomplete pass when it hits the dirt. Yeah, it's been a game so far, and the special teams and defense have really showed what it takes. And you know what? I'm gonna bet that there's some money or cases of beer or something, something that's under a rock in the Syracuse locker room where the defense has said, "Hey, you know what? We're pretty damn good. We bet we can outscore the offense today." And I just, we got to see how that wager goes at this point, as we see 3 down linemen on Tarkenton on 2nd and 10. Drag to Lance Allworth. He's got 2 guys upfield of him, so he gets hit hard and he gains 3. It's 3rd and 7 now from the 17. 2 tight ends either side. 1 halfback in the back on the shotgun, and Biner on the angle. He gets 8 and a first down. It's 1st and goal from the 9. So I've talked already just a little bit about how important 2 of the 4 phases of the game are, in that defense and special teams are the ones who've gotten the big points so far for Syracuse. And if you think I'm counting wrong, as we see the pitch to Newhouse, who rumbles for the touchdown. Newhouse, the fullback, not that quick, but with all the muscle, he moves through the secondary players. He put him on his ass. He just bounced right off the fullback there, just said, nope, rumble for the touchdown.
And he hits the PAT. Let's throw out to Reese now for a studio update.
Let's have a look at what's going on in Chapel Thrill. The Tar Heels relentless with their rushing attack, and they score a touchdown. Keenan's strength as a runner.
But if you thought, hey, Coach Six Gun, I mean, you're pretty good at this, but are you sure you counted correctly? There's only 3 phases of the game, and I would say you're wrong, because there are 4. There are 4 phases of the game here in NCAA Football 14. There is offense, there is defense, and there is roster management. And absolutely, if you look at the players, Bailey, Jordan, Green, Brooks, who were in the right place to make non-user picks, non-user deflections. Those first 14 points were absolutely because of good play calling, but even more so, excellent roster management. As once again, Lundy is behind center, and Martin Mayhew gets his hands on it, and it's almost picked off. Thank you for joining us, Coach R. Bark. That raspberry wheat actually does look delicious. I do actually like a fruity wheat beer myself. You will, of course, be interested to know, as we've been discussing, Syracuse is up 21-0. The offense has scored once. They ran 3 plays. The first score of the game was a 68-yard punt return for a touchdown. The second score of the game was a pick 6 on 2nd and 8. And then there was an interception that went to the 50-yard line that got scored on, and now we begin this where we're already at 3rd and 10. And another deflection. Rodney Lundy is 1 for 9 with 2 picks, and I believe 3, if not 4 deflections. There has been at least 1 deflection on every Pittsburgh possession. They've got nothing. As Krause is going for his second return, he gets 8 yards this time. So Syracuse is appreciating your well wishes, Coach Arbark. They may not require them.
And certainly hoping that Coach Leon recuperates. We give it up to him for showing up to practice and offering a hand, but you didn't need to go so hard that he got hurt.
Indeed, Coach Spectre wants to also say that he appreciates the fact that Coach Leon, showed up to practice and was willing to play through the injuries, but it's not necessary, and he can take some time on the bench. We appreciate him showing up for the games. But yes, absolutely, Arbark playing great defense, great positioning. Special teams doing well, defense doing excellent, and the offense saying, hey, we want some of this, we would like some of this, and they haven't had the opportunity as of yet, as it's now 2nd and 5 from the midfield stripe. Anderson comes in motion from left to right. Darkington keeps it and loses 2 yards as he couldn't get the pitch off. It's going to be 3rd and 7 now from the 49. spends time in the pocket to wait for Smith to make the move, and then Smith makes the move, and Tarkenton makes the pass. It goes out for first down and a little bit more to 87, the tight end, Smith.
Third down, out route. I didn't want him to throw it. He was so open. So
First and 10 now from the right hash and about the 33-yard line. 4 down linemen, but they're widespread and the linebackers creeping up. And Biner keeps the handoff. He gets 3 yards as a lot of people come in and try and help. No, I have not seen anything about Oath, the game from the company that made Root, but I really want to play Root, and if Oath is anything as nearly as awesome as Root, I want to play it very badly, as it's here 2nd and 7 from the right hash. Tarkenton, and he scrambles out, and there's space, and he slides, and they call it 3rd and inches after the slide, a heads-up play as he was running into the second layer there. 2nd and inches now on the 23. Is this... I've heard about the RPG that they're making in the world of Root. Is that what this is? Is that what Oath is? Because that I want to play.
use my time to use my QB and Neo play. May as well have the fullback carry it, right?
Oh God, yes, no, I'm absolutely super interested in literally, you have told me that the subtitle is A Game of Empire and Exile. Their pitch is about how history gets written, and I am willing now to spend $60 on this. I need no other information. I'm making a purchase. And Allworth with the... Sorry, Flipper Anderson with the dive on the out route. It's 28, soon to be 28-0, 1:36 remaining in the first quarter. Syracuse has never started with the ball further away than their own 48-yard line.
He kicks it off, and he got all of that one. And it sails out of the end zone for a touchback.
Syracuse looking awfully impressive right now in defense, but we are in the first quarter.
Yeah, this is about as dominant a first quarter that we have seen in a long time. But let's see if they can continue to play this well throughout the rest of the ball game.
They still have time to put up a few scores. The question is, will it be enough, and can their defense make enough stops for it to matter?
So it's their 5th possession, and the Pitt Panthers have yet to make a first down, but there it is to Rogers, Aaron Rodgers, with the 19-yard catch. So you'll be amused to know, Leon, in one of my many Discords earlier this week, somebody had mentioned a game premise that they thought was really interesting, where there was this land that didn't have anything anybody wanted, and then all of a sudden there was alien technology found there, and a lot of people scrambled in. And so, and it's up, and it's off target, off of his hands. Somebody got beat badly on the coverage, but the pass was wrong. But yes, so somebody describes this game And I respond with, well, that's very similar to this Stars Without Number game that a friend of mine has run. That is essentially, sort of the Scramble for Africa in space. And people's first response was like, "That's pretty squiffy." As we see, it's the second pick of the game by Jordan. Lundy now has more interceptions than completions. In fact, Jordan has more receptions from Lundy than the entire Pittsburgh team. But yeah, that's sort of the description as a Scramble for Africa raised some eyebrows for a moment before I gave them some more explanation. Because, it raises some eyebrows. As Tarkenton scrambles and does a great spin move and is blocked by his own player. Just bumped. He was in the way just a bit. But that after the pick, and we're already back on the Pittsburgh side of the Pittsburgh side of the field. Yes, and that's exactly the thing. It's like you explicitly knew that you were playing the bad guys, and you were playing the bad guy. There was when you just say Scramble for Africa, there's only so much information there, and was like, okay, no. These people absolutely knew what was going on, and it wasn't colonialism that they were blind to that they were playing. As we now see 3rd and 1 after the triple option pitch where it gets swallowed up in the outside. So the reason I haven't played Root is because when given the option between playing RPGs and board games, I play RPGs, as do most of my friends here. That's pretty much it. And also because I haven't been willing to spend money on Root, and nobody else I know has bought it either. A fantastic first quarter by the Syracuse Orange. They've gotten 3 picks or 2? 3 picks and 3 picks, 2 for Jordan, and a punt returned for a touchdown. It's 98. I know it's 98 because he was trying to go for 100 and didn't make it because he needed a 2-point conversion on the last play of the game. That's the only time he's been that close, was that 98-point game. The other highest was 84. 80, yeah. The other, he's hit 84 once or twice. But the 98 was, he was trying for 100 and didn't make it. And I'll be honest, it was literally one play. It was the only 2-point conversion he tried in the entire game, and I was kind of gratified he didn't make it at the end.
98's pretty good though.
98's hard to beat. Tarkin scrambles out. There's somebody in front of him. He's waiting. So he throws it over to Allworth. 40 yards and a touch. And once again, through the uprights by Knight, getting all the rogues this evening. Pittsburgh with a single first down at 7:28 in the second. And 3 picks.
Let's see if he can shake off that pick that he tossed last time out.
One general rule in any game is
I've never seen the AI pull someone.
if you're in the negative in the turnover department, your chances of winning decrease exponentially. How did he drop that? The defender did everything.
Once again, an incomplete pass for Rodney Lundy. Defense was there again with the deflection.
Drops the interception. Boy, the offense caught a break there.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 25.
Defender dives at the feet of Lundy and he throws it out of bounds. He's looking pretty spooked so far. It's going to be 3rd and 10 once again.
From their own 25-yard line. It's 3rd down.
And that might be the softest sack I've ever seen. Like, he's standing.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
He swiped the ankle, but it's like you could have stayed up for that. That was weak sauce on the sack there. But that's not yet another 3 and out for the Syracuse defense, which is just like on all cylinders. Bam, 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 bam. Kraus, a 6-yard return, stopped at the 48.
Yep, that could have been big if he could have gotten a few more blocks.
And they call it the 47.
I'm really surprised how lopsided this first half has been. But this is college football, and no matter what the score is, the adrenaline's always pumping on both sides. He fights forward to around midfield. So
Tarkenton with a 3-yard rush, a shoestring from behind. It gets it to midfield.
Second and 7. Ball on the 50-yard line. Syracuse with a big advantage. He's going to try and scramble.
He waits. Ooh, and it's picked by Evans at the 30.
We'll see if this changes the makeup of the game.
Boy, it's been a long day for this defense, a day they'd probably like to forget about, but at least an interception like this is maybe some momentum for them, not just here today, but more importantly,
Evans with the pick, and the announcers are already talking about next week, as it's not even halfway through the second. Lundy throws it up, and again deflected.
by the defense. If you let this quarterback set and throw,
We have
he'll
defensive
kill you
backs
all
coming in
day,
this week.
but
We
they
should
got
be okay.
excellent pressure on that play.
We have so many, I can't remember if there is one. There might be one.
You got 2 athletes coming this week. 2nd and 10 now. 5 wide receivers. Time in the pocket for Lundy. And that time ends when the defense peels off and it's a sack.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
More pride in taking care of their quarterback than that play right there.
3rd and long now after the sack.
Shotgun normal halfback week from the right hash on 3rd and 17. And Porter gets his hands on it. It's his 3rd deflection of the game. We're not halfway through the second. This might be the unicorn. 4 deflections from a single. Like, there's a chance. There's a chance for 4 deflections from a single defensive back. And that is rare. That is the impossibility. Kraus catches it. He's at the 45. He's at the 50. And the kicker takes him down at the... It's a 28-yard return at about the 48-yard line.
Everything is coming together for this offense. They seem to be getting better with each series. And this game started where this team was, they wondered if they were going to be able to move the ball against this defense. And I think right now, I think they seem to, as I said earlier, they seem to be growing with their confidence with each possession.
Tarkenton scrambles out. Defender catches him. It's a 1-yard gain. Second and 9 now from the 42.
It's second and 9. Ball on the 42. Syracuse up by a big margin.
Biner catches it, holds onto it, spins, and gets another.
The 27-yard line.
The pitch is off. Biner. Pitch was early. Biner gets 4 yards.
Second down and 6. Ball on the 24.
Hand off to Biner on second and 6. He gets another 5, and it's third and 1. Wk6 gets the handoff on third and 1, and he gets 1 and more. It's first and 10 from the 13 now as Syracuse continues to lead.
First and 10. Ball on the 13-yard line.
Tarkenton on the play action. And Allworth out of the tight end spot, 13 yards and a touch.
By the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
All right, thanks, Reese. Back to the live action here. And it looks like they're ready for the kickoff.
Knight.
Sends it sailing downfield.
He might just be joining Le Parti Québécois with all those rouges that he's scoring this evening. Rodney Lundy, 2 for 16, 3 picks, and they're sending him out back into battle. First and 10 now. Moody behind the quarterback and behind center. Lundy puts a hand on again. Martin Mayhew gets his second deflection. He is 2 for 17. 2 for 17. You never see this. Whatever it is, he's got good awareness. It's second and 10, 5 for 5 receivers, 3 down linemen. Brooks out to the right of the line. He cuts in and he throws it off. Mackey Third completion of the game for 12 yards, and their second first down. AI quarterbacks are never this inaccurate. But it's not only... But it's not only... You're right. There's a little bit of inaccuracy, but it's mostly the fact that there's always an orange man in between. Like, there's a hand on it, always. Fourth completion, 8 yards. And Mackey comes from the outside. He gets 21 yards.
We thought with the quarterback being so shitty that they think, okay, we got to run. We didn't. Hey, good thing we are.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 34-yard line.
4 wide receivers, single back, no tight end, right hash. Quarterback hit as he throws, catapulted out of bounds. Second and 10 now. Lundy, a little bit of time, throws it away again.
Great job by the defense getting after that quarterback. And right now, I think they've got him with some happy feet. He appears to be a bit rattled.
He's well done. One more pick and he's gone.
Third down, and they need to get it to the 24.
Shotgun normal halfback weak from the right hash on 3rd and 10. And that is a sack.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust.
And he's kicking from the midfield arc.
He gets it up. No good. He missed it to the
It's short and left.
Chance to finish a drive with points. You've got to capitalize. That time they couldn't come through.
And once again, Syracuse is going to get the ball. This time it's a 1:58 remaining in the half.
And as the defense comes back out, you can be sure they're thinking about that score they surrendered the last time around.
Tarkington under center in the eye.
It's another thing to have an idea of what you're doing, how to attack.
Scrambles out. He checks down to Wk6, who trucks through the defender, and it looks like there's probably a penalty. And a face mask adds 15 to the 7-yard catch.
They're giving away 3 yards and only making life easier for the guys on the other side of the ball.
And that moves them to the Pittsburgh side of the field.
Ball on the 38. Syracuse looking to put this game away if they score here.
And the pitch goes to Biner. He's got downfield blocking. He gets to about the 6. On a fantastic heads-up triple option by Tarkington. Biner gets 4 yards. It's 2nd and goal now from the 4. .116 and the clock is moving. Shotgun 5 wide, just over a minute. Allworth over the middle. He jumps for it because it's ahead of him. And that's...
He's been on the receiving end of 3 times.
48 to nothing.
Do it now, Toast, do it now. Let's go.
And once again, Pitt will have the ball. It's 1:06 remaining in the game. In the half, I'm sorry. Kind of wish it was the game. I could go to bed. And another hit and into the stands for Lundy.
It's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 25-yard line. And down he goes, right around the 24-yard line. A loss on that one as he couldn't get past those big lines.
Amir Moody, and he loses yards with the run on 2nd down. Amir Moody with a 2-yard rush. It's going to stop the clock when Syracuse calls a timeout at 18 seconds, 4th and 9, forcing a punt. Kraus underneath it at the 35. He gets to the midfield line. He's got the kicker to beat. The kicker shoestrings him and forces him out of bounds. 6 seconds left. They're on the 28-yard line.
When you're a quarterback and you start this close to the end zone,
And they come out with an offense. 6 seconds. And it gets swallowed up, but the clock stops at 2 seconds at the 24-yard line at dead midfield. And they're going to kick a field goal. And they're going to be up 52 to nothing at the half.
It's automatic, baby.
Football. Syracuse got a huge lead.
Glad to have you with us in the studio for the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Reese Davis and David Pollock here, completely locked in on that first half.
I'd like to put this more delicately if I could, but if this were a horse, they would put it out of its misery. This game is ugly and completely non-competitive.
No, one of these teams is not like the other. I mean, one's really good and one's not, and I don't know how to sugarcoat it anymore. Maybe we could say that the second half will be better, but what you've seen so far, you're probably going to get a lot more because I don't see any advantages or anything to take advantage of. One team's just superior in talent, superior in coaching, superior really in every single facet of the ballgame.
I can only hope that Nestler and Herbstreit will bring the same type of intensity to their call of the second half that David and I brought to the halftime show. Of course, they always do. That's it for us here in the studio. Time to get you back out to the guys for the second half.
So a quick look at your halftime stats will reveal The score is 52-0. It is 9 first downs to 3. 251 yards of offense to 43 yards of offense. 117 on the ground for Syracuse. Minus 21 on the ground for Pitt. Pitt is 5 for 23 for 64 yards. And Syracuse is 10 for 12 for 134. Pitt is 0 out of 7 on third down, and Syracuse is 5 out of 5. Turnovers are 3-1, so it's not wholly in their favor. And the surprising thing is how much possession Syracuse has had after going up 14-0 without having any possession at all. Player stats. Tarkenton is 10 out of 12 for 134, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's 84% with an average of 13.4. And no sacks. Lundy, on the other hand, has a rating of 19. Yes, 19. He's 5 for 23 for 64 yards, 3 picks, 21%, and a 12-yard average for the ones that he makes, and that's 3 sacks. On the ground, Moody has 4 attempts for 0 yards. Lundy's 3 sacks are minus 21. Syracuse, Tarkenton is 7 for 51 yards on the ground. Biner 6 for 47. He's good running the ball. Newhouse and Wk6 are getting the first downs. Through the air, Allworth is 5 for 65. Biner is 2 for 22, and a couple of additional ones to Anderson, Smith, and Wk6. Pittsburgh, Mackey has 2 for 33. Everybody else only has 1 for those 5 catches. Defensively, this is where the story of the game is. Evans is trying to slow the game by himself with a little bit of help from Gordon, but it is the defensive play of Syracuse with sacks and, more importantly, interceptions and so many deflections. 3 for Porter, 2 for Mayhew, 1 for Fletcher, 1 for Bailey, that are really stopping the show here for Pittsburgh. It is just a wrecking ball as we move into the third quarter. Syracuse leading 52-0. We resume this game in week 6 of season 17. Syracuse gets the ball, and they get to the 19-yard line. They are ahead 72-0, starting on their own 18. Tuckerton scrambles out, and he's wide open, Monk, and he has to dive for it, but he makes the catch. And Art Monk with like a 38-yarder there or something like that, 40-yarder. I'll give him the 40. Oh yeah, no, he moves it from the 18 to the 26. That's definitely, I think the math is 48, maybe. And shotgun split here from the right hash. Tarkenton keeps it. He pitches it. And Biner with a spin move that opens up. He gets 23 yards cutting through the seam. It's 1st and goal now from the 3. Yeah. He spun and followed his blockers down the seam. It's 1st and goal. And that's 27 seconds into the second half. Nice. That's definitely something to keep. Art Monk football camp signed photo. Yeah, you keep that. Tarkenton waiting. Allworth. Easy open on the drag. .58, soon to be 59. And that's less than a minute into the 3rd.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over.
They should just come out and play loose and easy because they've got nothing.
2 halfbacks again for Pitt. And they throw to Humphrey out of the backfield. He gets 6 yards and is tackled by the safety.
At about the 31. From their own 31-yard line, it's 2nd down.
And Lundy throws another ball out of bounds when he's scared. And it's going to be 3rd and 4 now.
Ball on the 31-yard line.
Lundy keeps it on the quarterback option. They call it 4th and inches. And they're going to punt. And that is another 3 and out.
Frustrating for a coach when you preach fundamentals every week and then have someone called for clipping. That penalty really is going to set them back.
From their own 20-yard line, it's 1st down. 5 wide.
And Tarkenton over the top to Allworth at exactly the moment he's got the most amount of space between the two safeties and his man coverage in the cover 2 man. Timing, timing, timing. And that moves it up to the 48.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 48. Syracuse.
Tarkenton under center in the eye now. Smith gets 1 yard, but is tackled.
So it's complete, but they didn't get much there.
And that's because the defense was just waiting on it and they attacked. The quarterback should have found somebody else downfield.
It's 2nd and 9. Ball on their own 49.
Tarkenton in the flex bone now, and he gives it to Biner, and Biner out of the wing back position, he gets 11 yards and a first down.
They look to be in sync right now. They're both reading the defense properly, and the result is a nice game.
From the 40-yard line. First down.
Shotgun ace. Anderson comes in motion. Quarterback keeps it. Quarterback's got all kinds of space. There's a safety closing. He pitches it to Anderson, who moves it another 9 yards. It's 1st and goal now from the 1. SD, it's great to have you. We're watching a defensive clinic, really. Pittsburgh is, I think, 5 for 23. They're 0 for 8 on 3rd down. And they've thrown 3 picks. It's just an incredible defensive game so far by Syracuse. Pittsburgh's gotten into the Syracuse side of the field once, and they were forced to kick a long field goal that they missed. So this is clinical defense here by Syracuse, and that's the game. That's the game we're watching, and the offense is as good as the offense usually is. Like, it's good, but it's not any more good than usual. It's the defense that is getting a hand in on every play. They've already gotten at least 7 deflections and 3 picks. It's really quite an impressive defensive coverage performance. Coach Spectre tells me to explain to you that the Orange are the Houston Rockets tonight, as Carlos Mackey makes his 3rd catch of the game for 13 yards. That was a heck of a game on Wednesday. Buffalo v. Duke, I believe. Lundy under pressure. Another catch by Mackey. Mackey seems to be the only guy who can get first down for the Pittsburgh Panthers this evening. I didn't say who won. I couldn't remember. I just knew it was Duke Buffalo. Second and 5 now, and the 38. Pittsburgh is once again in orange territory. Lundy has time in the pocket. He's deciding, and he gets hit and throws it in the dirt. It's going to be 3rd and 5. Coach Stradamus with the helpful information. You can barely make it out below our banner there with the shotgun pass, as if that wasn't what it's going to be. And Lundy with another grazed sack. He falls over. He falls over. It's going to be 4th and 13 from the 46. And that's an incredible punt from Pittsburgh. Honestly, their best play of the game to put it on the inch line. This is their best chance for points. It's on the inch line. It's not even 1 yard. That is not 1 yard. That is a foot at most.
The play clock's at 0-0.
They take a delay of game. That's going to be about a 6-inch penalty, half the distance to the goal from the 1 foot line.
Yeah, with so many young guys out there, it's bound to happen occasionally.
It's 1st down. Got to be careful down here, deep in your own territory. Syracuse up big.
And the QB sneak on 1st down gets Tarkenton 2 yards, just a little bit of breathing room. He won't be snapping the ball in the end zone next time.
2nd down. This is a dangerous situation.
But they come out in the shotgun.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide.
And Tarkenton gets stopped in the end zone and tied up, and that's a safety. And that's the first points of the game for Pitt.
To about the 37-yard line. The Panthers are just falling apart in this quarter. I mean, are there any positives you can even use to motivate the team right now?
Well, as bad as it looks and feels right now, there's still over a quarter of football to be played. You just got to forget about the mistakes, try to get a little bit of momentum created, and get confidence back in this quarterback being able to make plays for you.
Not a whole lot's been working for them so far. They should just come out and play loose and easy because they've got nothing to lose. They come out on an empty backfield.
Tracy Porter with the unicorn for deflections.
That's exactly what they did by not making that interception.
I mean, if he isn't, you're pretty fucked. I mean, not that you're gonna lose the game, but you definitely you ain't gonna make 100 if Darlington's not back. Unless you really run the flex bone. Rogers with a great catch and great blocking.
The wideout here truly knows what he has to do to contribute to make his team
Yeah.
And he hits the PAT. A quick update now. Here's Reed.
Momentum on their side.
3 words say it all. Red
No?
River rivals, Oklahoma and Texas. And for Oklahoma, they're shooting for their 5th straight win.
Pittsburgh to kick this one off. Bailey from the 3.
And Champ Bailey makes it about to the 19-yard line. They call it the 20.
It was a pretty disastrous last possession that ended in a safety. Let's see if they can improve on that.
They come out in the split with the backup quarterback, who happens to be a fullback. Newhouse runs with it, and there's a flag on the play. And there's a face mask, and that gives him a big bonus on the 5-yard run.
There we go. Perfect.
And Fran Tarkenton returns to the game.
From their own 39-yard line. First down. A quarterback in the gun with 5 receivers.
Underneath to Allworth on the drag. They call it 10 yards, but short of the first down. 2nd and inches at the 49.
This guy seems to be making catches the entire game. If they don't do something different to be able to slow him down, he's just going to continue to make big plays.
It's play action. Tarkenton scrambles. And he gets 11 yards for the first. Lance Allworth, playing halfback, comes out of the backfield and gets 9 yards. They call it 2nd and 1. And Tarkenton scrambles and slides again. He gets to the 23. Newhouse is back in under center. And he gets 2 yards on first down. And there's another flag on the play. And it's holding on the offense. It's going to move it to 2nd and 18.
Little stumbles like these can kill your offensive progress.
2nd down and a ways to go because of the penalty.
Here we go.
Now he's scrambling.
But Allworth gets it all back with the 20-yard catch, and he steps out of bounds. First and 10 now from the 5. They get the playoff before the half. Ricky Sanders gets 5 yards and steps out of bounds. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Syracuse got a huge lead.
Allworth with the catch. He gets 4 yards, but he's short of the marker. It's 3rd and 1 from the 1. And that's Biner with the touchdown.
Good job against the run. They've been very physical. What I love is how relentless they run to the football.
The deficit is huge, but as a player, you never want to slow down your effort. Believe me, coaches notice the ones who aren't trying that hard.
And that's a great start.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
So the sack makes this a 2nd and long.
Indeed.
Empty backfield, quarterback in the gun.
2nd and 17 now. And another pick by Porter. He's stumbling, and he falls down at the 30. That's the first turnover of the game since the first quarter.
Syracuse up big right now in this one.
And Tarkenton loses 4 yards.
So it's 2nd and 14. Ball on the 35-yard line.
Biner over the middle, and he's spinning, and they call it inches. 3rd and inches to the 21. Tarkenton keeps it. He's got some space. He runs for 10. He's going to be 1st and 10 from the 11. So, SD, I don't know if cooking shows are your thing. Food shows, travel shows. But, Allworth makes the catch, 11 yards and a touchdown. I just watched the Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner on Netflix, the LA episode. I watched that yesterday. It's really good. And there's a lot of places I would like to go and eat food in LA now. And there's actually a really good reason for me to go to a place that I know is local to me that I didn't realize was a chain that is originally from LA that is really good. That's actually near Coach Spectre's neighborhood. But you're talking about Lakers or Clippers playing Milwaukee. I mean, I imagine, okay, given previous conversations, I'm going to assume that it's the Lakers playing Milwaukee. But given the fact that it's Milwaukee, I'm not sure why that's must win for LA. LA's doing pretty well. They've got a good record. They're going to make the playoffs. Yeah, Milwaukee's a contender, but if you're playing a contender that, in an 80-game NBA season, okay, it's not a huge deal if you lose to Milwaukee once. I mean, that's true, and honestly, I think it's more important it's less important to have the win than it is for the Lakers to understand what they're going to do against Milwaukee in a 7-game series. Because this is one of the things, I don't know a lot about the NBA, but one of the things I have learned in the last 2 years is that there is a really big difference between playing a team once in the middle of a road series and playing the same team 7 times in 14 days. Because that changes things. When you see them night in, night out over 2 weeks, the margin gets smaller. So if you're talking about that, like you need to, this is, you know, like you need to learn more. You need to learn how to play Giannis. You need to learn now what you're going to do in the playoffs if you face him. That doesn't mean you have to win. It means you have to try all of the solutions.
He makes it out to maybe the 46-yard line. Syracuse proven to be the better team in every dimension.
Well, I mean, and that's exactly one of the things. I mean, you know, it's like baseball. Like everybody loses a certain number of games. Like nobody goes 80 for 80 in the NBA. Nobody gets. I mean, getting 60 wins is incredible and rare. As it goes over the top to Allworth again for 28. So yeah, and then there's always like, okay, we lost this thing that we didn't think we were going to lose. We let up on the gas too much because we were trying to conserve energy for the next night, and blah 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 blah. Like there's a lot of reasons why the Bucks might have lost to the Heat, and will therefore play hard against LA. My point isn't necessarily. And you're right. Yeah, the Bucks have lost very little. But you don't necessarily need to win now. You need to be able to win later. You need to be able to win playoff games. You acquire information right now. You win playoff games in the playoffs. As Tarkenton runs with the scramble and great space. Okay, so your proposition makes a lot of sense, except for the fact that really 2 things. One, part of the reason the league works so well is we ask a limited amount of any given member in a given week. We're asking them to play 1 game. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes. We're asking them to do recruiting. That takes anywhere from an hour to 5 minutes, depending on where it is in the season. That's not a huge burden on a week-to-week basis. Baseball, if you're trying to play at any sort of clip, you're talking about 4 or 5 baseball games in a week, and that's just more difficult to ask people to do. The other really big problem is with your proposal, as interesting and creative and good idea as a proposal that it is I would stab people if I was any team besides the Boston Red Sox. I might be willing to play the Oakland A's. But yeah, Yeah, I'm having a tough time imagining playing almost any other team except the Expos. I would play the Red Sox, the Oakland A's, and the Montreal Expos in that order. And Porter with his 5th deflection. Okay, that makes sense. Having a smaller season makes sense, but it's one of those things, like, I like FIFA, I like soccer. I've tried to play FIFA, but with a 38 game regular Premier League season plus FA Cup plus Carabao Cup plus European soccer, like, it just is an impossible number of games to play in a season. As Paul Krause has another great return, this one 47 yards into the red zone. Like, as much as I love the idea of the show, and this is actually something Leon has been playing. Leon's been playing the show, but he only plays one player. He plays that version. So he only, like, a single game takes 8 minutes. Like, okay, I'm fine with that. Andrews with another pick. That's his 2nd pick. As Tarkenton gets greedy and goes for the end zone there. Like, I don't necessarily disagree with the idea. I disagree with the amount of time it's going to take in the week for anybody. And the fact that I am unwilling to, like, humanly unwilling to play anyone besides the Boston Red Sox. Screen pass. Jordan hits Moody. Moody goes down. You know, I'll be honest, I don't actually watch that much live hockey, and that's really probably because I don't have anything that would give me the Boston Bruins on a regular basis. But despite the fact that I do really like hockey. As McDonald, almost gets picked. Like, but if that's the thing that says, hey, they didn't have my announcing crew in 20, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna play 19. Like, I totally understand that. That makes a difference.
Please tell SD that Coach Spectre believes there is no better play-by-play man in all of sports than Oklahoma.
Fields at the 38, looking for the corner. He's at the 40. Inside the 30.
And Krause, is he going to do it? Yes! That is the second punt return for a touchdown by Krause tonight. So, Spectre wants me to make sure that you know that he is a big fan of Doc as the play-by-play of the hockey for NBC Sports.
I studied broadcasting.
Midway through the 4th quarter.
Reese, we really got a lopsided game here.
Al Michaels is
Knight has his kick team lined up, and he is set to kick this one off.
his body of work now is the best.
He sends this one deep.
I'm not sure what he will do, but as long as you're agreeing, I will stop making fun of your contractions that are incorrect. Well, that's one of the things. Like, we've got players in League 1 who use discs to play the game. Now, we're lucky that a number of us who were in the league in years 5 and 6 and 7, when you could buy a digital copy of the game, and we said everybody buy this right now when it's $30 and you can't buy it anymore. But we've got people who play the game in the league who use a disc and it doesn't always read it. And if you try and go out and buy a new disc, that's like $80. And it's not a new disc, you're buying a used disc for $80. Amir Moody with probably one of his best rushes of the game for 7 yards. It's like, sometimes you when something is right, you gotta like, oh no, that's the copy of that I need. Funnily enough, Leon will agree to this. There's a specific translation, a very specific translation of Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince that I had a copy of and I gave to somebody. And Leon says he didn't lose my copy, but I gave it to Leon and I never saw it afterwards. That I spent years trying to find that same copy, that same translation. So I totally understand, like, having the right version of the game, of the thing, of the book. As Syracuse has 120 seconds between them and history, they're on their own 32-yard line.
We're late in the fourth quarter. This game has been a blowout for quite some time, and Kirk and I are just looking to make
5 wide receivers on the left hash. Tarkenton scrambling, waiting, up. Sanders catches 14 yards and out of bounds. Out of bounds, Tarkenton has a minute.
Just over a minute in the fourth quarter.
Tarkenton space. The defensive end flops. He gets to the 41-yard line and steps out of bounds. 1:06 remaining. Well, not only that, I think Microsoft gave me a copy of 19 maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, whatever, on Xbox Live Gold. They were just said, hey, this is the thing you're getting now. And I'm like, okay, I will say yes and probably not install it. But, to each their own. Like, it's very clear that the two of them have very different strategies at this point. And I think one of them is right and one of them is wrong, as Newhouse holds onto the ball in the flex bone triple option and he gets 2 yards. Yeah, like the Xbox Live, the games with gold stuff, like similar with PS Plus. They gave NHL 19, a few weeks ago, and that lasts as long as you continue to have an Xbox Live subscription. But it's past now and it's not. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm not going to get rid of it. Pass to Wk6. Wk6 catches the pass away. It was so underthrown because he was hitting. It's 3rd and 8 now, and it cost Syracuse a timeout. Five wide from the right hash. Tarkenton scrambles. There's space. He's going for it. Is he getting out of bounds? Yes, he gets out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. It costs them a few seconds. They're at the 48-second mark now. They're 6 points shy of immortality in League 1. They're on the 18-yard line. No, I've had my Xbox Live subscription continuous since 2006. I have no anticipation of ever giving that up. I'm also quite proud to never have paid full price for a year. It's great. Buy it on sale, motherfuckers. Buy it on sale. Pass over the middle to Allworth on the angle. He gets the first down, 13 yards, moves it into the 6-yard line. Sorry, the 5-yard line. First and goal from the 5, 44 seconds. The ball has started because the clock has started because the ball is placed. We've got a split. Newhouse keeps it. 0 yards. Clock is moving. They go to the huddle. Yes, I am, SD. I will give you that much. I will say yes to that question. Tarkenton scrambles and weaves his way in. That is triple digits. Triple digits.
You can blow with this, you can blow with that. You can blow with this, or you can blow with that. Or you can blow with that.
SD, I can neither confirm nor deny. Oh, it looks so bad. It looks so bad. Like they don't like to put those numbers in there. They don't like to have 3 digits. It's 101 with 13 seconds to go.
I mean, either you get to 100 or not.
Yeah. Well, that was a heck of a performance as we see Pittsburgh coming out with 13 seconds in the game. They hand it off to Moody. Moody gets hit. Moody gets nothing, and nobody's stopping the clock. It's going to end 101-9.
It's a pretty good day.
The Syracuse Orange with a dominant defensive performance and a pretty usual offensive performance against a team that looked really, really good on paper, but then couldn't complete a set of downs in reality. They couldn't complete a pass for a long time. Just an incredible game. Okay, SD, I have to tell you, you are absolutely wrong on that. I will ride or die. Dude, fuck this Forza Horizon shit. I don't care about that. But like core Forza, better than Gran Turismo any day of the week. I will ride or die with Forza. Forza is great. Gran Turismo is crap. Okay, you and your twisted metal bullshit. Like, okay, if you want an arcadey thing, I can understand. If you would, like, you want to play that, you want to do like, you know, Burnout, like Burnout 3 Takedown. No, Burnout 3 Takedown is Xbox, original Xbox. Yeah, something else. Yeah, no, I understand that. Kraus had great punt returns. Jordan was phenomenal. The defense was always getting a hand in. Oh no, you know what? I'm all about the European cars in Forza. I love me some German cars. This is a fantastic. It did 101-9. One team made triple digits. The other team couldn't make double digits and could not complete a single third down. No third downs at all ever. 8 for 8 versus 0 for 13. 4-2 in turnovers. Really, because Syracuse got greedy, they were going for it. Just an incredible game. Yeah. Yeah. I have 2 words for you, SD. Lancia Stradolate. Oh. It was great to see you, SD. We're glad to have you. You should know that probably in about 15-20 minutes or so, on Blitzkrieg's Twitch, Blitzkrieg77, and on League1 football, we have as you see up the top, twitch.tv/League1 college football. We're going to have another game. It's going to be Central Michigan against Akron. That's another game with our user Coach Blitzkrieg of Central Michigan. They're going to play in a few minutes, and we'll be there. We'll be in chat. We'll be watching that game, so you can join us there live in probably 15 or 20 minutes. Thank you for joining us for this single header of the East Coast Division of League One football. We'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. We'll take a quick look at who the Navy Midshipmen and the Syracuse Orange are going to play next week. In just a second, once we are saving this game needs to be saved. The records matter.
We had so many recruits.
All the deflections. I haven't seen, we've been playing this for 17 and a half seasons, and I've never seen 4 deflections.
Yeah, he had 5.
And somebody had 5. It was insane. Let's get this. All right, what's the schedule? Next week. All right, Navy at USF, who won this week. They go to 3-1 against a good team. I can't remember. And is there no Syracuse game? Syracuse has a bye next week. 1 game next week. Navy at USF. All right. Thank you for joining us. We're glad you were here. We look forward to seeing you all again shortly at Blitzkrieg77's channel for his game. Have a great weekend. Have a great next week. Kick its ass.